There she is.
Hey, Dee.
Totally convinced myself it was next week.
No.
Totally. Good thing that Ford texted me.
You
Was
are
that-
good to go.
Yeah? Do we have anybody online?
We do.
Like commissioners or?
And we have, yes.
Okay, good. to know.
Hello, Commissioner Lucas is online.
I'm Commissioner Lucas. All right, so 6:01, we can call the meeting to order. Thank you. Roll call or, oh, I'm sorry, Pledge of Allegiance first. I pledge allegiance to the flag
Flag,
United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, now roll.
Commissioner Gillen,
Here.
Commissioner LaPierre,
Here?
Commissioner Lindsay,
Here.
Commissioner Lucas,
He's on.
He's
Lucas,
online.
here.
Commissioner Mackey, Chairman Rennie,
Here.
Commissioner Rio,
Yep, you're.
Commissioner Semi, Commissioner Wilshire,
Here.
Commissioner Forsley,
Here.
Commissioner Andrews,
Here.
Portman,
Here.
you're all set.
Thank you.
All right,
So you have, two open seats if you'd like to seat two of your alternates.
sure. I forgot, I know Pete's an alternate.
Mr. Lucas, Mr. Forcelina, and Ms. Morgenthau.
All right, Ms. Morgenthal's, no offense, Lucas, you're not in person, just to make it easier. Peter Porcelina
I
and
completely
Ms. Morgenthau.
understand.
Okay.
Appreciate it. Excellent. So first up, we have the FOI discussion with Town Clerk. Hello, Town Clerk, welcome.
Have a good evening.
Part of this is because of the, email address you're gonna get on the business cards, because
Oh,
it isn't a town address. And he's just gonna go review some other things as far as this commission goes and how they operate.
Oh, good to know.
So you'll notice at your tables, and we'll get this sent out to the online members and those not in attendance, you have a small packet at your desk. Specifically, first is the OLR research report from 1998, sort of giving an overview over what an economic development commission is locally, where you receive your powers from, and what powers a municipality may give you as well. So just a brief overview. You'll notice your membership can be up to 15 and up to any alternates the town chooses to do. Right now, we've chosen 3. So we'll get started off of that. As I said, statutorily, as your next page after the OLR report is 7-136, where all of your powers officially come from. This allows the town to create the local commissions, which you are. And you've been in effect for a very long time. Now, this power can be adjusted depending on how the council choose to. And the reason I bring that up is I was actually reading your bylaws. And I will say, they're not technically your bylaws because none of you were on in 2008 when these were adopted. So I will make a couple of small notes before we get into other details. You will probably want to look at your rules in general. One, because your current agenda calls for 2 minutes for public participation. Your bylaws call for 3. Just a small note there.
Of course.
Second to that,
Clayton Wilt.
Sorry.
a power that has not, to my knowledge, been designated to you as a committee is the ability to create your own subcommittees. That is still a town council format. The fact that you have it in your current bylaws, which is the last part of your packet in section 11, makes it a little difficult. The council has always held that power statutorily. And the only one that I can think of that they designated the allowance to create subcommittees was the 150th committee. So those are two things that I did notice as part of your bylaws that would affect other things. So I just would recommend take some time, make notes, look them over, check other towns as well. And you want to bring those forward as a future item to discuss. The reason that I went to the bylaws first was to roll back to two of the documents that are in front of you. One is, it'll start with library trustees C603, which is the section of the charter that you are created under as well. So C606 is the Development Commission. And you get your powers and duties either by Connecticut general statutes or by ordinance. And then any assistance you require is through staff or through the town manager request. Standard for most of our commissions. And then Article 8 is your ordinance, which instead of placing membership and other items inside of the charter, which is much harder to amend, that's that blank page at the beginning and then on the back side of it. We place the membership of the committee inside of an ordinance. Ordinances are much easier for the council to go and amend. Maybe you decide that 11 members, 9 members and a 3-member alternate board is too unwieldy to manage. And you want to go down to say 7 members and 3 alternates. Those are things that can be more easily done versus a 10-year process of charter revision. So things to think about as part of your duties and powers. So let's talk about meetings and communications. So that is the hardest thing, especially in your type of commission, because you are much more forward-facing to the general public and the businesses than most are. An individual will come to the TPZ commission, but you'll be out in the actual neighborhoods and in the businesses and in the development areas talking with those people. And what can happen sometimes is you can run into what we call ex parte communications. Hey, I talked to this person. Oh, what did they say about this? And then a third comes on and a fourth comes on. And pretty soon you have an email going back between 5 or 6 commissioners, and you start creating what's considered an illegal meeting. So that's one of the reasons we had the discussion on the side about your email address and how we can manage that for you. We've talked with the IT director on that. There is a possibility that we can create one that will give you all access, but will also give us preservation. If we get somebody who asks us a question about what's going on, or when was this item discussed, or who made this decision, and we don't have that email backup, the FOI commission can come back and fine us, which we do not want to do. So we are looking at that for you. So just give us a little bit of time. There are some small little steps to go through on it, but it's possible that it could happen.
Okay.
But we want to take our time, get it right.
Okay.
Okay. Let's go into. There were a couple of things that I picked up in the boards and commissions book, but I don't think they really apply to this commission in general. All of you, when you came into the office, did get your boards and commissions booklet, which was last amended by the town council in August of 2023. One of those biggest pieces is the meeting section under FOI, page 6. Definitely review that. We usually handle most of that in the background, but there are those matters that you may start discussing that do affect, as an executive session, say the council decides that they want you as part of a development project, and there's a discussion needs to be held in executive session. That's rare for this board to be in. Most of yours are going to be primarily in the public forum. Council more so, they will hold multiple executive sessions, sometimes in the night, because it's a requirement of them. And your liaison can definitely speak to that.
She smiled when you said it, yes.
Not to say they're always a fun thing to do. So one of the pieces in the boards and commissions booklet, which we discussed earlier, is the rules of procedure. Because you actually have them, that is what you should follow primarily, as long as it doesn't conflict with either statute or charter or ordinance. So in this aspect, you do have that small conflict, so definitely take a look at that piece. And then in the boards and commissions booklet, page 11 is the most important one, and that is communications. And we put this in specifically due to issues we were seeing with communications outside of the townwide network. And specifically, it is any oral or written communication through any medium, including electronic mail or social media, between or among any committee member on any public business within that board or commission's jurisdiction. And it is considered deliberation and now releasable under FOI. So that's where we really need to be as careful as possible. You know, sending out an email and saying, what is a good date that we can all meet? That's not going to work for me. Let's set up a special meeting on this date. That's okay. Hey, this project's going on. I'm not liking how this looks, and we have a conversation on it. That's a problem. And FOI will call that a meeting. Sometimes it'll just be a reprimand to start with, but towns have been fined for that issue. So we want to be as careful and clear on that as possible. And then, as I said, staff handles most of the issues for posting, for minutes, all of that back and forth. So you guys usually don't have to handle as much. Sometimes it'll be a discussion of what's going to get added onto agenda with the chairperson. But beyond that, that's the most important piece to take out of this sort of discussion and the information that I supply to you. And I will leave that for questions. Yes, sir. Mr. Forcellini.
James, thank you so much. Great information. I'm just trying to understand what was the only thing that prompted this discussion tonight, the idea on the email address?
That is correct.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Thank you.
Yep. We wanted to make sure if we were utilizing an outside email that wasn't within the town network, one, we have access to those records, and that we don't create an issue in creating an online meeting that would be non-posted and non-notified to the public. And that's usually what tends to happen when commissions go sort of outside of the organization, because you are effectively appointees of the town. You're not an outside board or anything. There are some boards that are hybrid like that, where you have an outside agency that you also have internal membership that's on it. That gets into a different area. You are appointed by the council, sworn into the office, and that's why we want to make sure that information is managed within the town itself.
What does FOI stand for?
Freedom of information.
Oh, thank you. Okay.
Been in effect since
Just making sure
1971.
That's
Just,
what we were talking about. Okay, cool.
Yep. Yes, sir.
Thank you for
Sir, Andrews.
coming this evening. This is very helpful. I'm going to use an example
Sure.
of a communication I just sent out this week
Okay.
and wondering if it was proper or appropriate.
Okay.
I sent out an email to the committee in anticipation of comments I'd be making this evening. It wasn't weighing it on a project or whatever. It was going to be making a suggestion for the committee to focus on some things for a future agenda. Is communicating something like that we really shouldn't do?
Yes.
Email.
So it is fine to send the general email to all for information.
No.
What happens is when you're requesting commenting back from the entire board, which is effectively a quorum of that board coming back to you in information,
Say,
that can create that online meeting that we spoke about.
interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So
So
it's
let-
always fine to send general information. Hey, I'm going to be talking about this. I just want to give you a heads up. Hey, let's think about this at the next meeting. Nobody should respond on that. That can be something the chairperson sees, relates to staff. That gets added to the agenda. You discuss it in the public forum. Yes.
Okay.
And would it be, I've always kind of gone the way of sending things to Eric,
Yes.
and then Eric will send things out to everyone.
Yes. And
Is
and
that
Eric understands
usually
when
kind of
he's
the
sending
better
that out
way to
as
do
well.
it? Yeah.
I mean, I
He's
can-
not looking for response.
Right,
He's
I
looking
can
to
do that and
inform.
I can just put a tagline and it will be discussed at the next meeting or
Right.
whatever, and just for clarification.
Yeah.
That is the cleanest method to do
That's
it.
the cleanest way
Yes.
to do it. So
Yes,
just so everybody knows.
yes, most definitely. Mr. Forcellini.
So in regards to the last meeting that we had last month, we had discussions about our meeting as part of this commission, like to discuss some things outside of this meeting. And we can't do this role in 1 hour
Right.
a month. So, that discussion that we had last month was, we're looking at certain things and we want to talk amongst ourselves. What prohibits us from doing that?
That gets into a very gray area then. Okay, so under FOI statutes, any meeting that has a quorum of the membership.
Which
So
is how many?
For this board, as a 9-member board, 5 is your membership for a quorum. When I say that, like I say, it gets into that gray area. So as long as you're going to bring that back to the full commission for a full discussion, you can have sort of those small group ones. You're not holding a quorum. The state law looks at it in certain ways. So even if all of you showed up in an event, it wouldn't be a quorum. Just because you show up somewhere doesn't make it a meeting. If you show up and you start discussing things even, they have ruled that it's not considered a meeting. But when you've gone to a location, you've created a quorum, and you start discussing business of the commission, that's when it gets into that extra gray area. So I don't know if that fully explained your issue that you're discussing. How many members were present?
2.
So you had 2 members present. Okay.
And we discussed it last meeting, saying that we wanted to look into some ideas that on how we can better support this commission. And that was discussed 1 month ago. And it was answered that yes, that we can do that. And we were going to come back and talk to this commission about it tonight.
Not to get into the weeds with it, but how many,
We didn't talk about
So
specific businesses.
it gets up to the line where we would need to make a subcommittee. Is that where you're?
that was sort of where I
going?
was going with it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to, the real discussion to have is, does it make sense for you as a commission to request the council create specific subcommittees? You have a downtown business subcommittee. It's made up of 2 members.
But
You-
do all of those subcommittee meetings need to be
They would be-
public and like this?
That's a
Yeah.
gray area. So
Okay.
because it's not a quorum of the board, it
Right.
doesn't step up to that level. So it allows you to meet on the side and bring it back to the full board.
Oh, okay. So it's not like it'd have to be like 5 of us here.
Correct. Unless you make a 5-member
reporting.
board of it, then you're having a meeting.
Okay, so
you-
if it's
you-
like 2,
you create
3
a
or 4
5-member
people?
a 5-member subcommittee, you're having a meeting.
Yep.
Right. So our subcommittees have to be 4 people or less?
Effectively, yes, because a quorum of your
Based
board
on
is
our
5.
Based on our, yeah, I'm
Correct.
specifically asking about EDC. So yes,
Yes.
totally. Okay.
Correct. But that would be the way, ask the council to set those up and think of them from your committee standpoint of what are your topics or areas of interest, and create that as a specific subcommittee and give it a task inside of the ordinance.
Right.
This subcommittee is going to handle the downtown development and work with the town planner's office.
Right.
This committee is going to work on the Berlin Turnpike corridor. This committee is going to work on the lower Payne Road and Kelsey Street.
Okay.
You know,
But like you said, we have to go to town council.
you would go to town council
have to
to
get approved.
request an amendment to chapter 8, section 829 through 831.
something
In this
that we-
in fact, we'd actually create a new section inside of it, and then you would set those up specifically. Yes.
Gotcha.
Gail looks like she
I
has a
know Gail
question.
definitely has questions.
Why can't they have just a working group? Because a committee is a permanent structure. But if they just want to do like a little project, an extravaganza or whatever.
Yeah.
Can they get, 2 people to plan of what the booth is gonna look like?
It gets the big gray area. Let me reach out to FOI specifically and see how they want to
Yeah,
advise us.
Temporary projects or issues.
Yeah.
and we're going through the-
Yeah.
Would somebody be able to repeat what was just asked? I wasn't able to hear. I don't know if the person doesn't have a
Sorry,
mic.
honey.
I was unable to hear.
Sorry, Councilor Bedrejko was asking about the ability to create smaller working groups that may be for a general project without having to go through the entire process of creating a general subcommittee.
Gotcha. Thank you very much.
But I will reach out to,
There's gonna be little fairs and stuff coming up.
Yeah.
that
Yep.
if you don't wanna
you want to
really-
get through.
It's just-
You're right. It's so permanent if we, right? It's like a whole different thing. Like you're saying, to make subcommittees.
Correct.
Gotcha. Okay.
But it depends on how much.
But we might
you
have a
want to.
couple that we would want. I don't know.
Right.
So that's something that we can discuss. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
So no matter what, we would have to go to the council, even if it's a working group of 3 people.
I'm going to touch base with FOI on the basic working group to see what their take is on that based upon the allowances, the council authority, and the creation requirements.
Okay.
We may actually reach out to the town attorney on that as well, just for him to opine on it.
So James,
Yes,
just to provide a little bit more insight. You know, we've taken a look, there's a couple of us that have taken a look at the 10-year plan
Mhm.
and some of the projects, initiatives under that. And you know, who's involved with that? The town council, the TPZ, the EDC. And what we're looking at is trying to look at these and prioritize. So it's more procedural. What we're talking about is more procedural
Right.
and process related. That, you know, we as a organized group are trying to see how can we best impact the town. Okay, based on what's been positioned as the 10-year plan and the recent downtown plan as well. So we're taking from that. Some of the ideas that you just discussed, where I very much appreciate it, but we also can't be handcuffed that we can't talk about things unless it's once a month. So the idea of working groups, I mean, I would think the town would want that. They'd want, you know, involvement, engagement. And so that's when we talk about working groups, having to go and have, you know, for everything that we've done, what you've done with your downtown.
Right. Or with the passport, like
Right,
that.
right.
Yeah.
So I would just like further clarification on this, and we probably need that sooner than, you know, the next meeting. So, because we're already established in trying to, you know, provide some initiatives, some ideas, and quite frankly, I mean, I wanted to have a positive outcome.
Oh, yes.
And I think all of it will have positive outcomes. What you've been able to do with the passport, what you've been able to do with downtown, what we're looking at for these initiatives. So that information would be the working group. I mean, as long as it's being brought back here,
Right.
that's what I thought we were doing.
So, and that's where the gray area comes in again. So as part of the council's purview, they chose to create that boards and commissions booklet, which is based upon FOI. And the reason they put in the communications is specifically this reason. And and they put this one specific statement, and I didn't get all the way down to this when we were discussing it before. And this will tie into the POCD piece that you were doing. And if you were to send something out by email, the specific language is distribution of the following information materials outside of a meeting is not considered deliberation, so long as the material or information does not express any opinions of a committee member. So you can send things out. We don't want you to decide that you want to respond back and then have Paul decide and he's going to respond back. Now you're starting an online deliberation of a meeting. That smaller subcommittee that you're talking about, if FOI is comfortable with it, and in addition, the council in general is comfortable with it, because the powers that they've allowed for is they create subcommittees. They've placed that directly in the charter itself. So that is technically, you know, our declaration. That's how we follow it. That the charter follows us throughout it. And if we veer from that, we can get ourselves in trouble. So if the council says, yes, we're comfortable with that, so they could even pass a simple resolution that says the EDC for the next 4 years may choose to create up to 4 subcommittees to complete work regarding the downtown section. Maybe that's a possibility that can happen. But effectively, the council is the top point on that. They make the determination whether or not other committees get created, and that is statutory. So you'll find that on the single charter page that I gave you on the back side of it. And it's section 610. There shall be other commissions, boards, departments, agencies, offices, alternate members, and commissions as the council may create by ordinance. So we need to look at that from that standpoint of that is our legislative authority. If the council chooses to waive that, that would be their choice. And they allow you to do that and pass that resolution. That would be my take. But again, we want to get that from the town attorney and we want to get that from FOI to make sure we are not running over the FOI statutes.
I have a question as well.
Yes, Jennifer.
In the rules of procedure, you have number 2 is regular meetings. And
Yes,
number 3 is special meetings.
yes.
Would it be possible to, instead of only having one regular meeting per month, if there's things like this, having more than one regular meeting per month, having a bi-weekly, meeting or something, like temporarily,
Yeah.
if needed, can we change that?
So I would speak to your staff liaison on that one.
Okay.
But yes,
I mean,
if
'cause then
issues
maybe
come
it
up
would
that
be-
are important,
Yeah,
that is why the special meeting is created. So let me explain special meetings and regular meetings because a lot of people don't understand the difference. A regular meeting only means that you have supplied a meeting schedule to my office by January 31st to be published. So every year, usually in December, you guys adopt a meeting schedule for the ensuing year. A special meeting is anything that's outside of that regular meeting schedule.
okay.
It can be scheduled. We don't usually do it because staff and we don't really like it, but you could have it on a Saturday. We don't do it on holidays. That's a definite, but you could schedule it at any point you need to, as long as room space is available and audio recording and videos is available for you.
It
Either
would
way.
have to be like, it would.
We'd
look
have
like
to
it
have
was
an
just making
optional
sure,
room
yeah.
that we could do it
Okay.
in. We do have here, we have the Parks and Rec department, we have the smaller conference rooms upstairs. So there are options throughout the building. So it is a possibility.
And the special meeting has to be very specific on the
Yes.
agenda. It's not
Yeah.
running through your whole agenda again. You might
Right.
just have one topic on there.
Right,
Right.
it's
Yes.
Like if we
specific.
had-
It's
Yeah.
focused.
That's the thing, if we end up having like particular situations
Mhm.
where it would just be easier on all of us just to have one special meeting.
Correct.
Get whatever we need to get done in that meeting and then
And not wait a whole month for it.
not wait a whole month.
Correct.
Okay.
And that's exactly what that purpose is
Okay.
for.
How many days ahead do we have to get we have to do an agenda for that, I'm assuming? right?
Standard agenda, standard minutes. There are small things that change with it. So posting for the special meeting is 24 hours. The minutes themselves are 7 business days. So not, unlike the regular meetings, they're 7 calendar days, so we have to get them a little sooner. Special meetings give 7 business days, so it expands. I'm actually gonna double check myself on that now that I'm thinking it. And that's what's in this book as well.
It does say 3 or more members, but would that be 5 or more members for
On
special
where,
meetings?
So you would still need a quorum.
You'd still
need a
would be
quorum.
5 or more.
So
where are you seeing 3 or more members?
It says it
Um,
may be called.
number
by
3,
three or more.
That's a
special
call of
meetings.
the meeting. So
Okay.
3 of you as members of the commission can put to staff to say, we want to have a meeting about this.
Oh,
Understood.
like if I was like, no, you can't have a meeting, but 3 of them were like, we're having a meeting, then they went.
Yes,
Yeah,
and we've done,
understood.
we've
Just
done
making
that with
sure
council
we're all on the
before.
same page.
It's a fun way to say it, but
Thank
yes.
you, thank you.
Yes.
Okay.
Fun way to say that we're going to have a meeting no matter what you say.
Right,
Here we go, special. Yeah, 7 business days. Sorry, that's in the boards and commissions booklet on page 10. And if anybody does need to reference that, it is on our website as well, although you all should have it from your swearing-ins as well.
We do.
Yes, sir.
One last question, Jane. So we have both Gail and Matt Floor are our liaisons from the town council.
Correct.
And they're here every meeting. They're typically here every meeting. So next Tuesday is the next town council meeting. I'd just like to see, how do we get a determination of working groups versus subcommittee? And because this is something like I think new to probably all of us, certainly to me. But like, is that something that we can get, positioned as early as next week?
I don't know if we'd get that position on the council yet, but we can get a response back from the FOI education officer. Specifically on how he would look at that. If someone were to file a complaint at FOI commission saying, they're holding these side meetings, what's going on with this? If that were to happen, how would they look at that? So I can reach out to him. That's not a problem. He's
Thank you.
usually very responsive. So.
And then, but once you get that response, it wouldn't be up to Matt and I just to say, oh, by the way, we'd like to, you guys should come up with a request or a recommendation or proposal, what we want us to consider.
Right.
So you need the information that they need for this. Before that, then you guys have to discuss, maybe a special meeting, I don't know.
A special meeting might be a much better choice to discuss.
We're just gonna try all of this out and see what we like.
Yeah, then come up with what you want us to approve.
Is that proposal preferred in a written format? Is the easiest way for it? Just like a one sheeter of like, here's our plan?
And somebody from your commission should be able to present.
He would go present it to town council. Now, how far ahead is their agenda solidified? Like, is it already set for next Tuesday?
They already
Oh,
set.
Yeah.
So the Tuesday.
I was just making
The
sure.
Tuesday before is set for the next Tuesday. So this
Okay.
Tuesday,
So a
the
week ahead.
leadership already met. They discussed. Yeah, so we'd be looking at, I believe, the 27th, 28th.
Yeah, 14th, 28th.
Yeah.
Believe you.
Yeah, totally. Okay.
So, and that effectively would just be an introduction on it. So there would still be at least what I'll call a 2-month process. So you'd bring it forward, council would decide whether or not they would like an ordinance created regarding it. Then they would introduce that ordinance, schedule a public hearing, and then the public hearing would be held, and then the council would act on that or make changes to it before passing it. So it is at least a 2-month process, but let's discuss with FOI, see how they feel about the smaller working committees to come
Yeah.
back to the main board, and we can work from there.
Or here's a silly question. Can we make a standing subcommittee and rotate topics through it?
Well, that's what we
You still
discussed
have
as
to
part
make
of the
the committee.
ordinance.
Council has to appoint that committee.
Right.
Yeah, so no matter
I
what.
guess, but we don't
No.
have to recreate it for each subject.
No,
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, sorry.
it would, from what
Well,
he
okay.
said,
Well,
it
no.
would, am I right?
There is a possibility for that. So what the council could do is create a general standing committee. And as chairperson, you could, based upon types of projects, assign individuals to that, as
Okay.
long as they give the commission that authority. That's the difference.
So let's ask for it to be more flexible than
It'd be
concretized.
special project subcommittee, you would appoint the specific people to that.
They're just
The
looking for
commission would approve
transparency.
the membership going on
information
to
be
it.
So
shared.
it is something that you can change, so it's just a special.
Correct.
committee.
So what would happen is after that, additionally, you would supply me that information for membership that you place to that temporary committee. And we would keep track of that information in
Okay.
my office.
Okay. And again, that subcommittee does not have to be recorded or has to be recorded?
I'll have that conversation with FOI.
Okay,
I
got it.
imagine there
Yes.
must be some sort of documentation produced from it. That's
There
what I'm-
should be
that's the-
something that comes
that's
back
what
to
I'm
the commission
expecting
in
you to hear.
general as a full board.
Because those
So,
subcommittees need agendas,
Correct.
so I would assume you need
Yeah,
minutes.
minutes.
Yes.
some sort.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. But you don't know if they need to be
But
recorded.
that's subcommittee though, we just have one sub,
Right.
then you have to establish rules, how many members, whatever. So basically, you're talking only one project at a time. Or one topic at a time.
But sequentially, wondering if we can, if we establish that committee, this month it's gonna be for this project, or for 2 months.
Correct. The membership, I would imagine, would have to stay somewhat constant.
It doesn't have to stay constant. So
Okay.
if they, and effectively, it's going to depend on what powers and authorities the council decides to allow for. If you allow, the chairman may create up to 3 committees or as standing committees upon approval of the membership of the board for individual projects that will come back to the main board.
But we were just talking about one.
We were talking about one in general, but
Three, and
Correct.
you don't have to fill all of them, really.
Right.
Only as needed.
Yeah,
That's
you could-
great.
You could create 3 subcommittees and, you know, this one, like I said, is downtown passport.
rotate
Yeah,
people.
yeah, and you
Okay.
use the one you need.
I like that idea very much.
It's got possibilities, and
Okay.
I'll bring that up with him as
Thank
well.
you.
And he may have seen this multiple times before,
Okay,
and he may have some ideas as well that we can bring back to you.
I like that. Okay.
You had a question?
Yes, since we're circling around crossing Ts and dotting Is,
Yes.
this document that you've provided to us is 2019.
No, it's 2008.
2008.
2024.
8,
Because I
gotcha.
went asking for it.
Okay, well, I'm just noticing that if someone did get this and come to a regular meeting, they'd be going to 131 Cedar Street, which doesn't exist anymore.
Exactly.
And
Those are those points I
they'd be
make
an
on
hour
updates.
late. They've been an hour late and a day short. So
Got it.
are we updating these? Do these get updated or?
That is my recommendation to you.
Oh, okay, there we go.
Yes, there are some updates that do need to be made to these, because as I said, they're 22 years old.
Probably not the only board and commission that this would affect.
But your bylaws pretty much haven't changed too much since the 1970s.
Okay.
Of the 5 that I have in my office, they're pretty much all similar. But yes, definitely, you know, if you want to, I can always get you guys the minutes from 2008 in April, and you can look over what the commission did at that time.
But before we can do that, we have to set up a bylaw committee in order to do it.
No, the commission
No.
itself can have that.
That was
discussion
just
as well. Or you could have a
I was
special
literally
meeting for
thinking the
it.
same thing. Yeah.
He's being cheeky.
Sorry,
No, that's
I
fine.
thought I'd
That-
break the air a little
but-
bit.
That's the exact reason that I did give these to you, specifically because as outdated as they are, they do need to be updated for specifics as well. And that may work into if that amendment passes through council that way. And that's where you can add back the committees, subcommittees in this case, created for a maximum of 3 with a maximum membership. And there may be more requirements, whether it be minutes that are supplied to my office just for the public's edification, just depends.
Thank you
All
very
right.
much.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
My
very
pleasure.
much. Right.
I will.
Yeah. Top. We didn't even approve the minutes
It's always that
yet.
way on council too.
I don't want to open.
James, your follow-up will be through.
I'll follow up through Eric for you, and we will try and get information out before the weekend.
It's,
And you can only say
that's
you
a whole
received that
separate, did
information.
you read it?
Yeah.
Say nothing else.
No
I'll respond back on it. We will
I
get
was gonna
back
say,
and get it scheduled for the agenda to discuss or a special meeting. Who knows what Eric wants to do?
Thank you, James.
Thank
My
you so much.
pleasure.
Thank you so much.
You're quite welcome. Everybody have a wonderful evening.
Thank you, sir.
Alright, so do you guys wanna look these over and maybe put it on our agenda for next month to discuss and possibly start updating this?
I think that's appropriate.
Yes, there's, I mean, there's obvious ones like meeting time and stuff.
Even
like
if it's
that.
just little things,
Yeah,
I
address
think we
the
need to
Day,
update
the
it.
time.
Okay, beautiful.
Yeah.
So Eric, can we add that to the agenda for next month, please?
And can we include in that discussion of identifying what subcommittees
Yeah.
we would have? Um,
Yeah.
whether it's a bylaw subcommittee, plan and conservation development committee, something like that.
Whatever.
I'll, on that one, I'll wait and see what I get back from James, whether if
Yep.
they say working groups is good, then we
Right.
can,
We can go that
we'll
way.
massage it that way. And, but I'll have a note to put one of the 2 topics on, working groups or subcommittees. Okay.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Can we get an approval of the minutes from last month?
Motion to approve the minutes.
Second,
Second.
Excellent. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstaining? That's,
Thank you.
Excellent. I'm so, I forget that you're supposed to be doing that.
that's all right.
We're up to public participation.
for 3 minutes, not 2.
Yes, for 3 minutes.
3 minutes.
Our Chamber of Commerce report. You guys like to tell us what's going on over there?
That would be me. And Jim will fill in any blanks.
Awesome.
Okay, we had our car show on June 25th. It was beautiful. It was well attended. We had to move it because of the rain, but it turned out to be a great event. We also had a big networking event at PC Richards on July 1st. We had a great turnout for that. A lot of businesses, what'd you say, like 30 people maybe? More than 30 people? A lot of people came. It was a really, really good networking event, and it was just nice to meet, each people. We only had a little tiny bit of time to talk, but it was just nice to kind of see the faces that represent the businesses, so that was great. The chamber itself is doing something that maybe we should think about doing here too. I don't know how we do this, but they're gonna look into how to track like monthly analytics for their website and their social media, just to see like what, how many people go to the chamber website, how many people go to their social media pages and all that, just to see, if that would sort of inform some things, so.
We don't
thought that
have a
was-
Yeah, we don't
website
have
or
that.
social
We don't
media.
have anything. Well, then there you go.
Hunter can
Um,
track that sometime. I know he can.
I will track that when we have.
When we have that, but I thought that was kind of a cool thing, and then I can kind of report back to what those results are, and just to see who actually goes to the chamber,
Yeah, you might be able to utilize that data for this group.
Exactly. So I thought that was kind of cool. The other thing that they're thinking about doing, I don't know when this is going to happen, but we did have one previously, in September of 2023, we did something at First Love Events on the Berlin Turnpike called the Hidden Business.
Hidden business open house.
Open house.
Alright.
And that was basically all of the businesses in town that do not have storefronts, but are businesses.
Cottage industry.
Yeah, exactly. I'm actually one of them. So, and it was a fairly well-attended event, but it wasn't, really, really well advertised or anything like that. But I thought it was interesting that it's starting to come back up again 3 years later. They're thinking about doing it again. So I'll report more back on that, but that was something that they were talking about doing. And I think that that's definitely something good for, us to think about as well, is, all of the businesses, not only, obviously, there's the downtown, storefront districts and all that, but there's a lot of businesses in town that don't have, that are thriving.
Brick and mortar.
Yeah, they don't have brick and mortar.
Yeah.
They're thriving businesses and they do contribute to town, but they don't, have an actual presence, physically like that. Then the biggest thing right now that we are looking to do, and I'm in full raffle prize mode right now, is, the Chamber Golf Tournament is on August 3rd. That's coming up, and we're looking for golfers and sponsors and raffle prizes and all of that. That should be a really fun time. We also have, 3 new members. And I think you may have reported this last time, I'm not sure. Northeast Gutters and Remodeling, Glastonbury Electronics Recycling, and One Stop Lending. So we are getting, each month more members, and it's been good. And I'll let Jim speak to
No,
anybody else.
all I've got to say about it is one of, the growth of cottage industry in our town. We're having a strong focus on them being legitimate businesses. So we're looking at them as being someone that potentially down the road could grow into a brick and mortar, which is great for us. And then the other is taking a bigger stand with professional industries, people that are specialists in their field, plumbing, electrical, something that we've never really had within the chamber, but we're definitely growing that as having a point of reference. So for business, because they're legitimate businesses. Again, some are working out of their trucks and their homes, and others are, they do have warehouses and storefronts in the area. So they add
Yeah.
value to the chamber, and they add value to our tax base to the town. So their business, no matter where it's located, is important. So.
Absolutely. So that is our report.
Oh, thank you. Next is the Newington Center Business Collective Report. We don't have a lot going on for the summer, so we're doing Soar and Explore Newington Center. So you're gonna see wings start to come out and play. So right now you can see Stay True decorated their whole storefront, their glass window with big wings, and it's beautiful. Someone came and painted, did a whole mural on there. Not a Phase Cafe has, I let them know that the flower beds were not gonna be filled by the town, so they went ahead, they are having someone fill in their flower bed. And it'll have wings and stuff going on in there too. Phoenix Pizza has they always have their wings up, so I was counting them. I put some butterflies up and I'm gonna hang a few more things, so you're gonna start to see them, we're gonna have them up for until like the end of August, we're thinking like the rest of the summer, it'll be a kind of nice theme for downtown. And we're just working on getting the word out that we exist, just to let the other business owners know. And yeah, that's about it for the summer. Nothing crazy going on, but we're working towards getting, we got our bylaws in, so we're filing those, and then we're gonna work on getting a 501(c)(3). So
Oh,
that would be
nice.
the next step for that.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes. What's after that? Old business, our fundraising and budget discussion. Did we have anything else to go over that?
Yeah, I don't know if you were finished or not, so I left it on.
Were we done? We were done with that because the
I think
budget's
we- yeah,
over.
budget's
My
over.
understanding,
Yeah.
my understanding, we
I think
wrapped
we're
that.
good with that.
All right,
Okay.
I will remove it going forward.
That
Thank
off
you.
for next time. Our new business, we have a chamber liaison.
Yeah, you
that
guys
you guys-
discussed it briefly last meeting, but nobody was really selected, so I just, if you want to do it, formalize it and call it a day.
Okay, very good.
Jennifer will be, will fill that role. So that's,
Okay.
Perfect.
You may want to just have a vote and
oh,
formalize it.
from this side, from
Yeah,
this
just,
side.
just for saying, hey, you're it, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, it's like official?
You should have a vote and everything just to make it official. Yes,
Would you like to call for-
exactly. I
Yeah,
mean,
so I'd like to call for a vote for chamber liaison.
I'll make a motion.
You may want to just call for any other nominations other than, you know, again, just if.
Anyone else
Okay.
wanna do it?
do it right.
Any other nominations?
No.
No, okay. We'll call for a motion for a vote.
I'll make a motion.
Give me
I'll
a
second that motion.
Second. All right, all in favor?
All in
Aye.
favor?
All
Aye.
against? All abstaining? Okay, ayes have it.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
She'll represent well.
Ask a question for new business to add an item. When is it appropriate to raise that during the meeting? Is
Erica
that,
finalizes a week, is it finalized a week before the agenda?
Typically, yes. I mean, if there's something, a topic you want on here and you want to have a discussion about it, that's up to you guys, but yeah.
3:00 this afternoon.
Yeah, we can talk about whatever you want. Do you have any more new business? Want to go over some stuff?
well, I wanted to, and I don't know if it's appropriate considering the discussion we just
You're
had.
fine. Go ahead, my friend.
So, with the commission's approval, I did send a communication, which I won't send again.
Just send it to Eric.
Based, but he was
I
included.
responded.
No, but only to Eric.
Send it to me and then I'll push it out to everybody
There you
else.
go.
And we will confirm that we received it.
Yeah.
We are still learning.
And perhaps at this meeting, I put some things out there, and we had discussed this previously about focusing on the plan of conservation and development and the economic development sections and opportunity areas that I was going to suggest that this commission spend some time on during these upcoming meetings. So my request would be to add a recurring agenda item. Review of plan of conservation and development. Whether we decide to have some type of a subcommittee be responsible for, bringing things to the commission every month. But I would like to propose that. Should I do it in the form of a motion?
You said subcommittee or working group, dependent on what we heard. James.
Yes.
So if you
this-
want,
This is what we're talking about, so you may want to listen in.
But regardless of.
if you want it as a straight agenda item, we can do that. I can add it to the agenda for now until you get so far as to have a working group or a subcommittee. And that way you'll be able to talk about it. Each meeting will be on there. It'll be a topic. Obviously, Todd's probably going to take the lead on that and
So I'll be honest, I'm terrible with emails. I didn't see it.
Yeah.
So are you able to briefly touch on what exactly we're talking about before we
Yes.
add it to the agenda, just in
Yes.
case? Okay, cool.
I handed some things out at your station. What we had discussed at previous meetings is brought to your attention that the EDC is responsible for a number of areas in the plan of conservation and
Mhm.
development. And what I did was I sent out copies of what I felt were the two sections of the plan, which lists the EDC responsibilities. The first is section 9 of their plan, which is on page 55 and 56. And on page 56, it lists almost a dozen areas or strategies in which the EDC is listed as a lead partner. My suggestion was to begin reviewing these areas to see what progress has been made, and also to identify initiatives that we could work on as a commission moving forward. This plan goes to 2030. And as I believe we discussed in a previous meeting, in a few years, we'll be starting the process to create next plan of conservation and development. So some comments that I heard is that this would be a good thing to raise at the commission level and to begin reviewing progress towards some of these strategies. So that's what I wanted to at least introduce this evening, not expecting that we'd have deep discussion about any of the strategies, but to begin working on identifying what some of the priorities the commission feels that we could focus on moving forward. The other area of the plan was the identified opportunity areas in town. There was, I believe, 4 or 5, and special opportunity areas as well as some individual opportunity sites or parcels. And I note that the town center is one of them. There's been a lot of progress on that. The Cedar Street Fast Track Station, which was noted in the plan, there's been a lot of progress on initiatives there. But certainly there are some other areas of the town that I suggest that we take a look at to see if there is any opportunities for the Economic Development Commission to become involved with those, to see if there's any way that we can support additional investment, growing our grand list, a number of the things that the Economic Development Commission can do. So I wanted to at least introduce this to the commission. And hopefully with your support, we can add an agenda item to future meetings and we can bring things forward for discussion.
So if you'd like, I can just flip this to old business next month. And we can just kind of leave it as a running tab under old business, like we've done with the passport program or things, and it can stay on there forever until you roll through it,
Yeah.
or until we
What
figure
are we
out working
calling it?
groups, subcommittees, whatever you like.
What are we calling it?
We can call it economic development
POCD.
slash POCD.
POCD review.
Okay.
Okay.
And
can
I
do
think
that.
that leaves it kind of open-ended.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
don't think we need
enough
a
for
official
us
vote
to-
on it, but it has my support for the agenda.
Yeah, we'll just
It's-
add it
it's
to the
very-
agenda.
This is excellent.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your
There's a-
work on that.
So,
A lot of research.
Past month.
So with this, we won't do this tonight, but perhaps as an exercise, I pose some questions in here that perhaps between now and our next meeting, you can individually, don't get together. Don't talk about it, don't text each other, but take a look at this and come prepared at the next meeting, and we'll have a productive session and talk about some of these. Okay.
Todd, what is your background?
This.
I believe it's this, yeah.
He's an economic development director. Don't
Economic
worry.
development director
Don't
for
let him fool
Newington.
you.
This is wild. I love this.
I served, and I don't want to go through my resume, but 15 years I served for municipalities as an economic community development administrator, sort of the economic development director position that the town had, but it was more broad. And then for the last 20 years, I've been Goodwin University in developing that as workforce development opportunity, but real estate development, brownfields revitalization, and public improvements and funding and that sort of thing. So I just retired, and
you're bored.
And I'm bored.
Well, you're very
And
qualified.
I love this stuff.
We're
And
appreciative.
so
of
if
your
the
boredom.
town can't afford an economic development director, then, maybe you can get something for free.
You're gonna
Yeah,
have to be
so-
patient with us.
Oh,
This is
no,
new,
no, I
but
just-
this is exciting.
Yeah.
Well,
This is kind of
just,
neat.
there's a lot of opportunity. This commission has been wonderful for the town. But the pressure I know that the town is under, and the town council, particularly this year, we all got our tax bills. And there's a lot of pressure on the community that has shifted to the residents in growing our grant list through responsible development is important to us. And you have the Hartford Hospital property off the town center. That property does not pay taxes. They are exempt as a not-for-profit. If somehow a portion of that property could become taxable in some way through
Hopefully
a
all of it.
project, and the town center identified it, that is a huge opportunity. There are other properties in town that I think are ripe for redevelopment, that are either blighted, underutilized, perhaps not paying taxes, that will really go a long way to help balance, the whole tax burden thing. So that's the only way that I think the town is going to help with this burden, that's been shifted to the residents, is we have to continue to grow on the economic development side. So
You're
Ask
exactly
you a
right.
This is awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
How long have you lived in Newington?
34 years.
Have you ever served?
Yes.
Okay, okay, so you,
I served
Yeah.
on the town storefront rehab program they had, and it was probably 20 years ago. Paul Featherston was the town
Oh, yeah.
manager at the time.
Mhm.
So I don't know how long that goes back, and Tom McBride
Couple
was
years.
mayor. So,
Eric was
Oh,
in junior
John.
high school.
yeah, some of these people weren't even born.
A little older than you
I
think.
remember when Mr. McBride was mayor.
Yeah. So,
Well, he was my last landlord, so it's Mr. McBride, yeah.
yes.
I love the map too. I like visuals. and
that's right out of the.
That's on POCD.
What is it?
Right out of the
POCD.
POCD, Plan
Nice.
Conservation
There
Development.
You
is
should
such a
all read
wealth.
it.
I've
It's
never
good
wondered-
stuff, after you get done with your,
Could spend
Netflix
hours
series, you should read. it.
wandering around.
It's good.
We have so many props tonight, guys. Okay,
That's great.
excellent.
Thank
Thank you.
And sorry, I messed
And we'll
up.
do our homework and have a
No, you did.
discussion next
I'll
month.
pay the fine.
No, don't say that. Careful what you say.
I also have an item, but I don't know if it's new business or if I should wait for commissioner comments.
Is it just a comment or would you like us to discuss?
It is something I would like to be added to either the agenda or it's just a report that I'd like to start doing
business.
every single month. Is it
Okay,
New business?
yeah,
Okay.
go for it.
So and I'm more than happy to pass these along.
Hold on, we have a finger up.
Yes,
See, you guys
Oh,
made
nice.
him
See?
pay attention. He wasn't watching. Do you see? No, not before.
So-
I'm just kidding. Yeah, now we can't.
No, we can't. Okay.
Yep.
No, I'm not saying you can't.
There you go.
Oh, okay. Is there a way to add agenda items?
Very good, very good.
I'm so glad you're here to tell us.
So if something comes up and you need to add an agenda item under the law, 2/3 of a vote of the commission voting in present may add an agenda item to your current agenda.
That's easy enough.
Simple enough. You could move it based upon the item that you're looking for. Somebody can second it. You can have your vote, and then it becomes part of the agenda process.
Very good. Should I
We
say what
also
it
need
is
to do
first
besides-
before we?
Either way, if
Again, I
you're
can
worried
leave
about
it under
moving
old
it down,
business. Old business is always an agenda item, so I can put various things under there, but if it's gonna be some kind of standing thing, yes.
Okay.
But why don't you listen to see what she has to say
All right.
first?
So yes, it would technically be called a Newington business brief. I work, or I guess I communicate quite a bit with Connecticut Scoop and Newington Scoop. And they kind of keep track of the openings and closings of businesses in town. I do this sort of on behalf of my own business, but I seem to have a list. Every single month I kind of keep track of it. And I thought it would be good for the Economic Development Commission to know what things in town are closing and what things in town are opening. And if I could just provide a list every single month, so, you know, we can literally just have it as part of the material each month. I think it would be just helpful to keep our finger on it, I guess, and kind of know what places in town are, you know, now empty, what places in town are moving in.
You're
know?
more than welcome to do that, but I do feel like that's been part of Eric's
I
update,
mean,
but you're more than welcome.
I talk about what I can talk about. I know Scoop, they post whatever they post and.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
reference Newington Scoop a lot.
Yes, yes, I know. And I've talked to them about this as well,
Yeah.
so, but we don't have to do this, but I thought they organize it very well. It's just a list. It's just very helpful, I think, to this commission.
It gives us an idea of what's happening.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay, I think it's
Pulse on
valuable.
things.
yeah, exactly. So I guess, do I make a motion to include it as?
Yes.
Okay, I make a motion to include the Newington Business Brief as an agenda item.
I'll second.
Okay.
Great. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right.
Okay. Can
You're
I
approved.
give these to people or what do we?
What's that?
You have them
procedure?
prepared
James
already?
is nodding yes.
Yes, very good.
This.
That's good care.
You have to train us. That's
Yes,
good. I'm
thank
glad
you.
you're here.
All right.
She's looking out for the green light out there.
You're gonna have to come to all of them now.
I know, exactly.
This is one. This is just July?
Yep,
That's horrific.
that's a lot. That's kind of why I thought it was a
Hey,
good idea
Jenny?
to. keep-
Would you send me it electronically and I'll pass this down?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Thank you.
Well,
No, I will send it to Eric.
No.
Eric can distribute.
oh, that candle place did not open and is not opening?
Yeah.
Got it. Interesting.
Yeah, I thought this was, I came across it on the Scoop.
Yeah.
On Facebook.
On Facebook.
And I was like, this is.
I actually, I know he's watching right now. I actually asked him if we could include this
Yeah.
and he
that's
said that'd be
wonderful.
great.
That's awesome.
All right, any other new business? Hearing none. Town planning update.
Oh, obviously I don't have much. I did order your business cards, just, so you know, they did come in today, however, they were incorrect. They added your email address to business cards for me for whatever reason, so.
Good.
Oh.
So we reordered them today, so but I hope
You
to
should
have them
hand
by
those
the
out.
next meeting. All right.
Thanks, Eric.
Thank you.
Otherwise, probably the stuff that I'm gonna talk about is in the scoop. There has been some recent interest in Newington Meats. We'll see how that plays out. Otherwise, if anybody has any questions, I will answer what I can.
I think just so we're all, like, I don't know if everyone's aware of the town planners Paul moving on. So,
Correct.
and his last day is next Tuesday.
Oh,
So for
Really?
this commission, I mean, he's been very supportive of us. He's been supportive of the downtown plan. Just wanted people to know that he's gonna be on as of next Tuesday. So thank you, Paul. If you can let Paul know. Like I
we'll do
said,
that.
I'll probably drop by and say hello to him before he leaves.
now what's the process for his replacement, or has that become you?
Yes, Eric. The job is already posted. I will probably assume an acting role.
Okay.
Gonna go for an Oscar, best actor.
Eric,
So be light on Eric the next couple months, guys.
have any thing further with the Keeney project and that developer?
So I have not heard from anyone at Keeney. It's possible Paul has it is at a bit of a higher level, but I don't believe so, honestly.
Okay.
So no plans, no formal application at this point.
That's the next step, is for them to submit a formal.
Potentially, there's text amendments they can look at to do to tweak the regulations to make it more amenable for them, et cetera. There's different paths they can choose to follow. So I guess we'll see how that plays out. The new, I think I briefly mentioned this before, the new housing bill came into effect on July 1st. This is through the state. We had to tweak our regulations to allow this, and this is to allow what they call middle housing, 2 to 9 units in commercially zoned areas. And you really, nothing, so they can redevelop an existing strip center. Or if there's a small enough parcel, they could choose to throw up 4 units or whatever. So our reg's ready to go, and we'll see what happens if we get any applications.
Is there a limit to the number of housing units in town? Is there some formula that's used as far as how much could be allowed?
So as part of this is part 1 of the state mandate. The COGS, which towns are a part of, are gonna compile all this data, and they're gonna come up with a magic number that each town is gonna say, you shall provide X amount of housing units. That's coming out later in the year, early next year. We don't know what that number is at this point. We don't know the formula. They're working with OPM to develop this, and this is through the governor's office. It is,
Right now from the state, we are under, we need more,
all
correct?
towns, they want to create more housing everywhere. The good thing for Newington is we are in safe harbor as far as 830G applications. So someone just came in and just pick a parcel and say, I'm putting up affordable housing here. We're over the 10% cap for that.
Okay.
So that's a good thing. Doesn't mean we'll always stay there. It depends on a lot of different government funding, subsidies, chattel mortgages, stuff like that. But as of
So we
right
hit
now,
that quota.
yep, we're at the
for affordable.
10%, so
That's good.
we're not open to that anymore, but this housing thing, which could potentially, go into commercially zoned properties is kind of interesting. We'll see how it plays out, because that could,
Is that not what the pike is?
right, so potentially somebody could throw a townhouse up on the Berlin Turnpike.
No, the pike, the apartments
No, the
in a
Pike- no.
commercial zone?
Well, that's allowable in ours, by our regulation, it is allowed in the zone. They
Right.
had to go special permit for that, but this would be like, other parcels along the Berlin Turnpike, anything in, with the B zone, the business zone, like at Stoddard and Maine, stuff like that, which, is probably not a bad thing in those locations. So it'll just be interesting to see how it plays out.
Gotcha.
So that's all I really have, unless you guys have any questions for me.
Taco John's got the sign up. I won't ask. I know that means it's coming soon.
Have you seen the taco bench too?
What?
Oh, what?
Look, there's a bench there. And it's
Is there?
the back is a taco.
Stop, that is so cute. Oh. All right, and, okay, so we're good. Any more questions? Town planning update, public participation?
That one is online.
Excellent.
Okay.
Commissioner comments?
I have a small one. I recently attended the Main Street Connecticut event that they have, which is it was in Torrington. I think this was 3 weeks ago. Great meeting, really interesting stuff. They had a lot of good speakers from different places around Connecticut. Most relevant to us is talking about the collection of information in groups like this coming together to talk about, you know, their towns and things like that. So that was really important to see. And they talked a lot about the like type of groups and making sure, you know, you have ways to record institutional knowledge that comes from years of having rotating individuals, having various different ways and initiatives to help grow economic development and your main streets, et cetera. So that was what I took away from that meeting or that event. So good stuff there.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Any other commissioner comments?
I have two. Yeah. First is, James and Todd, the really good information. And the reason that I was asking questions is because we are looking to do certain things from a subcommittee or working group that we've actually had discussions on that are process related. Todd started reviewing some of those today. Just want to make sure that we're doing things. It's all for like, all of this is already public because it's on the POCD. Okay, so we're process and procedural right now. We're not talking specific businesses, but that's what I was getting to before, that, you know, as a working group, we talked about it last month and the two of us have gone off and looked into some of this. So we want to continue, again, positive outcomes. The second thing that I wanted to just ask is more of an ask than a concern. I know that both Jim and Deanna were both part of the June 23rd downtown planning meeting that included Mayor Trister, Jonathan, the town manager, Gail was there, Matt Plord. Can we have like, I was surprised that didn't come up in this meeting. Like,
I was gonna do it in my comments.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay,
Good.
you ready?
Almost.
Okay, so we don't have a lot to report. It was a very simple meeting of just the basics of how to get started, right? So like, how do you spend the money? And it was pretty much all that we need. We talked about to start to do a traffic survey. What are they called?
Traffic and parking.
Study, a traffic study and a parking study for just the section of Cedar and downtown to see where we would utilize the best. Things that were brought up were signage. So not just little signage like parking and an arrow, but like Market Square, like big, huge, awesome signage. And like usable art. So like benches that look beautiful, things like that. We talked about spending money on things that you can't see versus things that everyday people will be able to touch and feel. That with this amount of money, we wouldn't be happy if it was just spent on studies and things that didn't do anything. We'd like to see the things. Do you have anything tangible? Yes, thank you. Do you have anything you
Yeah,
want to add
I
on
think
that?
I think you hit right on the head of it. I think the general
So it was just like
attitude
a
of everything
discussion.
was that we have mechanics and visuals that those finances that were granted to us would be used for to initiate this program and keep it moving and going. But there's gonna be some stuff that is a non-seen item. So yeah, I think you hit it right on the head.
Thank you.
And we also talked about activation of the alleyways, access points in
Oh, yeah.
the square. Pedestrian, you know, to activate those either with lighting, signage, artwork, stuff like that, to just make it more comforting to bring them in.
Yeah.
So,
And unfortunately, it has been Paul kind of leading this group and this committee, so we'll, be meeting his next his replacement and going forward from there, but we would all have to get them up to speed
Mhm.
and see if they have any ideas and things like that, but.
When when does that state monies become available?
That I'm
That's-
unsure
That's
of.
above my payroll.
Yeah.
Mm.
I think what we had to do was come up with a plan that could be submitted. Because I think before they're gonna present the money, I think we have to have a plan of what the money's gonna be used for. So,
Yeah, 'cause I don't know.
I think that's the last step that we just took is the step towards seeing that money come this direction. And whether there's stipulations on what timeline we have to use that money in as well.
And it was brought up that the last phase of this, when we did just the basic master plan, that the community was very involved, right? They were set up at the extravaganza and the waterfall festival. We had a couple meetings in here, a whole Saturday planning thing that was 4 hours long. So to also include the public in not every stage of this, obviously, but you know,
Mhm.
when it comes down to the basics, to make sure that it is something that people want and not just
Right.
the 10 people that are in that room.
Right. You don't want to make this in a vacuum.
Great. So I think we're gonna meet in a month. I don't even know if there's another meeting planned at the moment.
I don't
with
think there's one currently scheduled, but
Right.
yeah, it's on the radar, definitely.
The moving, yeah. So we'll keep you guys updated, but that was really it. It was just a light discussion. Any other commissioner comments? Okay. Motion to adjourn or just 10 explosions? We have a motion, second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
Any opposed?
we'll see you next month.
Thank you. Great.
Good evening, everyone.
Good night.
Good night,
Mike.
Mike. Thank you. All right, so next month is the August 13th. So if anyone's gonna be on vacation, let Eric know.
I'm gonna be on vacation.